Billionaires have found one more way to funnel our tax dollars into their bank accounts: sports stadiums. And if we don't play ball, they'll take our favorite teams away. Ever notice how there never seems to be enough money to build public infrastructure like mass transit lines and better schools?
Remember Robert here, my king, giving us the deets on billionaires and the admiration for socialism in the form of the public through politicians they lobby, forking over taxpayer money to build stadiums for our favorite sports teams?
I think there's still a lot of work to be done by the White Sox as well as with members of the General Assembly. But I will say that I think I've been really clear about the fact that the taxpayers' dollars are precious. And the idea of taking taxpayer dollars and subsidizing the building of a stadium as opposed to, for example, subsidizing the building of a birthing center, just to give the example, does not seem like the stadium ought to have higher priority.
And one politician actually going on the record, J.B. Pritzker, the governor of Illinois, saying this.
Many of us sports fans, we all want to see the teams succeed, but these are private businesses, and we've seen other teams be able to support their own stadiums privately. That would be ideal here, and I think that's something that I would encourage. I start out really reluctant, and unless a case is made that that the investment yields a long-term return for the taxpayers that we can justify in some way, I haven't seen that yet. Now, the information that we've gotten so far is still very limited. How the taxpayer is going to benefit from this still hasn't been put forward to us. It's just what the need is. And of course, I think the pictures that we've all seen, the drawings anyway in the newspaper, all look terrific. But again, that's not enough to make it a priority, in my view, for Springfield.
Truly remarkable to hear in the year 2024. However, not just the Chicago White Sox and owner Jerry Reinsdorf are flirting with the idea of moving. No. The Hunt family, who own the Kansas City Chiefs, are the latest in the fraternity of the top 1% to threaten the idea of a move.
Just about every NFL franchise owner has a net worth of over $1 billion, except for the Green Bay Packers, who are publicly owned by 500,000 cheeseheads. The same goes for many franchise owners in other sports. Their fortunes don't just help them buy teams, but also gives them clout, which they cash in when they want to get a great deal on new digs for their team. Step number 2, billionaire pressures local government. Since 1990, franchises in major North American sports leagues have intercepted upwards of $30 billion worth of taxpayer funds from state and local governments to build stadiums. And the funding itself is just the beginning of these sweetheart deals. Sports teams often get big property tax breaks and reimbursements on operating expenses, like utilities and security on game days. Most deals also let the owners keep the revenue from naming rights, luxury box seats, and concessions.
I'm going to give you all the details here, and in addition, why this is just a stupid concept for so many that we should not be funding anymore. First, we start with Front Office Sports and the writer Alex Schiffer. Appearing on KSHB 41 in Kansas City, Chiefs President Mark Donovan was asked about an April 2nd vote to extend a sales tax of 3/8 cents through 2064 to fund a new Royals, the MLB team, ballpark downtown and improvements to Arrowhead Stadium. According to the station, the team wants to add a canopy to its upper deck, fans and heating, a parking deck, and a bridge to connect the upper concourse, among other upgrades. The team says the upgrades will cost an $800 million price tag. Now let's stop for a second. Of that $800 million, take a wild guess how much the Hunt family would like to contribute. $300 million. Now take a guess before you say, oh, that's a lot. Golf clap for them. Take a guess how much they're worth. I'll give you a second. They are worth $24.8 billion. They can afford it. Via Front Office Sports once more. Asked about taxpayers having to fund the improvements, Donovan said the ballot vote is an extension of existing taxes rather than a new one, of course. That's where he shifted his tone on the ramifications for the Chiefs and Royals should it not pass. I think they would have to include leaving Kansas City, Donovan responded. Ooh. But our goal here is we want to stay here, and we're willing to accept a deal for the county to actually stay here. And there it is. The classic, well, if y'all don't do this, we're packing our bags and leaving. It is typical. Typical. And I double down on what I said previously. The biggest drivers of the anti-socialism message are the ones that covet it the most. The billionaires, the top 1%. From Forbes, construction would start in 2027, allowing time for the stadium modifications necessary to retrofit it for FIFA's specifications for the World Cup. Then the renovated Arrowhead Stadium would be ready for games in either 2030 or 2031. And to that I say blah, blah, blah. Slate.com's Alex Kirshner would put in their column, the Chiefs are making one of the least credible attempts in the history of stadium strong-arming. Not only are they not going to leave the KC area, they're unlikely even to leave the site of Arrowhead, a profitable venue that's already one of the envies of the football world because, of course, of their home field advantage. The Bluff's flaws begin with the fact that there is nowhere in the U.S. for this team to go. At most, the franchise could migrate and find a sugar funding deal a few miles across the border in Kansas, still within the KC metro area. Other NFL billionaires are voracious about protecting their territories, and there's not a single swath of American land that doesn't already have a team or two with an entrenched foothold. Good point. In conclusion, stadium funding is often a race to the bottom between local governments eager to give out the most generous tax and bond packages to corporate titans who do not need them. Exactly. Congress could try to stop it, but the legislature has shown only glancing interest in the past. That gives Chiefs fans and Jackson County voters a unique opportunity to light the way for the rest of us. So do it. Their team is great, has no incentive to leave. No group of fans of the sport has ever had a better chance to respond to the fear-mongering by pointing and laughing at it. Well, amen to that. I have to just say this as well. $25 billion. And they want the taxpayers to help fund their renovations. Say no. Make your voice heard. Please, KC. Please. If there are any stories we missed, if there are any that you would like to submit, get at me and follow me on Twitter, Instagram, TikTok. DMs are open. Become a channel member here to keep us afloat, and or go to tyt.com/join to support the network. Appreciate it.